I have had so much go on in this past week. My this bike got serviced and has come back with a clean bill of health. Apparently I'm taking good care of it, which is nice to hear. I spent about 2 hours at the dealer, well, custom mechanics at the dealer that I bought this from, and I was like a kid in a candy store, really. All those shiny bikes, and I kept finding myself getting drawn to the sports bikes, the CBR500X or the CBR650R, whatever it is. That's a very, very nice bike. It was quite an eventful day actually, because I found out some stuff. Turns out my understanding of, you know, what I could do with my A2 license going to a full A was technically incorrect. In order to do it without having to do a theory test or another CBT, I need to hold it for a full 2 years, which means that if I was going to do it, I'd be best waiting until next year's in 2026 to do it. So not going to be doing my full A this year because of how the dates have fallen, because my pass date is in October, and that has sort of yeah, it's put a bit of a spin on my plans for this year. I might actually have to check if my previous CBT and theory test are valid. I know my theory test would be, but I'll have to check the CBT, because I'm not paying to do another CBT. Hell, I'm not doing another CBT. After all this time riding, I'm not hopping on a 125 and being taught the basics of, like, this is a road, this is a wheel, these are handlebars. You know, I'm just... It's such a waste. But... oh god, that sun. So I found that out whilst I was there chatting to one of the dealers, who you know, a nice chap. It's dead funny though, because you walk in there and, you know, the mechanics are like, oh, we'll work on your bike, just straight on it, whereas the dealers are all sniffing around you like, oh, can we get him to buy something? But so I probably won't be doing my full A this summer. But then, on top of that, I was very attracted to the sports bikes, and the CBR500R, which is, I don't know, this bike's sportier brother. Sorry, I am thinking and trying not to die. Or not thinking, I am thinking and focusing. Jesus! Ah! So bright! But the CBR500R looks very nice. And I know I, like, previously said I really don't want to sell this bike if I could avoid it. But I think that's before I'd even sat on any other bike. And going to the dealers and sitting on some other bikes and having a look and that, I am a bit more like, oh, there are other bikes out there. So maybe this summer, well, to be fair, I've been keeping an eye, I will be keeping an eye on the websites for my 2 local Honda dealers and another shop not too far away, looking to see if any 500Fs or 500Rs second hand go up for sale, because if they do, I'll probably be selling this bike and doing a part exchange for one of them, because oh, that's a real gamble there. Jesus, I quite like the idea of trying something a bit different. And the 500RR, no, the CBR 500R, sorry, just struck me as so nice. Why have I gone this way? Why have I done that? Oh, oops. U-turn time. But I quite like the idea of trying something a bit different, and the 500R, oh, that was a nice bike to sit on. And I am sort of really liking the look of owning a sports bike. So really, if a decent second-hand one of them comes up in my locals, I might end up picking it up and selling. I'm selling Ruby, selling my baby. But yeah, I do think I'd like something a bit different. Right, do you guys want to see a magic trick? Squadoosh, magic. Steaming up a little bit, gonna have to crack the visor. Yeah, the 500F was the bike that I originally wanted when I was looking at bikes, and I was going to the Honda dealer to buy my first bike. So owning a 500F or a 500R be a good next step for me. Because if I'm not going to be getting another bike this year, that's a more powerful, step up, then maybe getting something that I'd be a bit more interested in might be a good idea. I suppose this is a good moment to sort of list the things that I don't like as much about this bike. And it is nothing actually against the bike. There is nothing wrong with this bike. If anyone was planning on getting a first bike and you are 6 foot, near 6 foot or over 6 foot, I would say that this bike is perfect for you. Oh god, I've made one wrong turn and now I'm stuck in all this shit. But I'm on a motorbike, so watch this. Skadoosh. Aha, now we're back on track. Oh, we will be soon. Jesus, that sun. Oh, Jesus, come on. Please. Now my time's come. There we are. But yeah, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this bike. This bike is a beauty. But here's what I'll start with what I don't like about the bike and why I'm wanting to swap to one of its siblings. I'm of average height, I want to say. Shut up! I'm of average height. I am not short, I'm just not over 6 foot. Yeah, I'm a short ass. But, and that sort of means that with this bike, that I can't flat foot it. And it's a very top heavy bike, and I know I have got more comfortable with it as I've owned it over the last year and a bit, but I quite like, it was really nice, right, I should say, to go into the dealers and climb onto a bike and both my knees were bent and both feet were flat on the floor. It was very confidence inspiring, I want to say. It was such a nice feeling, and it struck me then that I actually feel a little bit uncomfortable on this bike with how I'm sat, especially when I'm at lights or I'm stationary. I feel like I'm fighting the geometry of the bike to get it to do what I want it to do. But the height of it does make it, like I said in the previous video, a real lovely bike to have in traffic, because I'm quite high up, I can see above everyone else, I can look over cars. So that is, it's not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. But I think you have to be tall enough to make it a comfortable bike. So apart from this this windshield being at a height for someone that appears to be about 5'4", it is made for a taller person. The reason for that comment about the windshield is all the wind is directed straight into my face, and when I started riding this bike after I'd bought it properly, I was like, holy shit, this is so uncomfortable. But like anything, you get used to it. Yeah, I got used to it, and you know, you deal with it. But it is very loud inside my helmet from all the wind noise. So having something that I'm a bit more comfortable on height-wise would be really nice. And now I'm going to go off on a tangent about all the things I absolutely love about this bike. The engine is incredible. Now, I'm not saying I've ridden hundreds of bikes and I'm an expert reviewer, because I am not. But in my limited experience, on all the bikes that I have ridden, it is the smoothest engine I've ever experienced. The power delivery is so linear, it is so predictable, it's comfortable, it's nice. This bike, very predictable engine, very comfortable engine, very linear, very smooth. The handling of this bike, again, this is the positive it being high up and having wide handlebars, is you can really throw this thing around. The front end is really easy to point. It's an adventure bike, so the suspension is very comfortable, very supportive, very plush. Very good on these Yorkshire roads where I live, where the road surface is a bit like a teenager's face. I love the dash. That dash is so basic, simple, I know exactly what I'm looking at and what I'm looking for. There's no clutter, and it's not, you know, all cramped like you see on some motorcycles where they've put the tiniest possible screen on there to try and save on space or whatever. God, I love that little bit of road. That is a lot of fun. I felt the back end slide then. Okay, that was I'm going to have to change my underwear. But to put a little bow on and end my little bike rant, discussion, talk, lecture thing, the 500X is a beautiful bike, and I would say to anyone looking for a first bike, if you can pick up a 500X and you're tall enough for it, it will be a very good bike. It is very confidence inspiring and it won't do you wrong. Oh, this is going to be a good view. If I'm not blinded by the power of a million suns. This is when I am properly going to shut up, and I'm going to say the cringy thing. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed me ranting at you for the sun, for however long this video ends up being. Goodbye.